What if I told you that success is not about talent, intelligence, or even luck? Study after study from psychology and neuroscience shows one clear truth. The gap between people who thrive and people who stay stuck is not what they were born with. It is what they do every single day, almost without thinking. These are habits, invisible ones, simple ones, and most people will never discover them because they are too busy looking for shortcuts. Today, I'm going to walk you through 7 habits that genuinely separate successful people from everyone else. And number 4 is the one almost nobody talks about. Stay until the end, because the last habit is the one that ties everything together. Habit 1. They protect their morning. Like it is sacred, successful people understand something most of us have forgotten. The first hour of your day sets the tone for everything that follows. While most people wake up and immediately reach for their phone, scrolling through other people's lives, successful people do something different. They invest that first hour into themselves. Whether that is movement, reading, journaling, or simply sitting in silence, they choose intention over reaction. And science backs this up. Research shows that people who start their day with a focused, purposeful routine report higher levels of energy, lower stress, and greater productivity throughout the entire day. You do not need a perfect morning routine. You just need one that belongs to you before the world gets access to you. Habit 2. They think in systems, not goals. Here is a common mistake almost everyone makes. They set a goal, lose weight, save money, build a business, and they chase that goal directly. And when life gets hard, the goal feels out of reach, and they quit. Successful people think differently. Instead of focusing on the destination, they build the system that makes the destination inevitable. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Ask yourself this. Instead of saying, I want to write a book, ask, do I have a daily writing habit? Instead of, I want to be fit, ask, do I have a workout system I enjoy? The goal tells you where to go. The system is what actually gets you there. Habit 3. They are obsessively curious, not just ambitious. There is a difference between wanting to be successful and being genuinely fascinated by learning. Successful people tend to be the second type. They read, they ask questions, they listen to understand, not just to reply. They treat every conversation, every book, and every failure as data. Some of the most successful people in history reportedly spend enormous portions of their day simply reading and thinking. Not doing, not reacting, just absorbing. Now, you do not need to read 8 hours a day, but developing a genuine love for learning, even just 20 minutes a day, compounds into an enormous advantage over time. The person who never stops learning, never stops growing. Habit 4. They are comfortable being misunderstood. This is the one I promised you. And most people will never develop this habit because it goes against a very deep human need, the need for approval. Here is what happens. Someone decides to change their life. They start waking up earlier. They stop going out every weekend. They invest their money instead of spending it. And the people around them, often people they love, start questioning them. Why are you being so serious? You have changed. Just relax, enjoy life. And most people slow down. They shrink back. Because the discomfort of being misunderstood is more painful in the short term than the regret of a life unlived. Successful people have learned to sit with that discomfort. They understand that every meaningful life change will confuse someone who is not on the same path. Being misunderstood is not a sign you are doing so. Habit 5. They reflect before they react. In a world of instant reactions, instant replies, instant posts, instant opinions, the ability to pause before responding is quietly becoming a superpower. Successful people practice what psychologists call response flexibility, the ability to create a gap between a stimulus and their response. They do not fire off an angry email. They do not make major decisions when they are exhausted. They sleep on it, journal about it, talk it through. There is a space between what happens to us and how we respond. In that space is our power to choose. That space is where wisdom lives, and it can be trained. Habit 6. They invest in relationships. Intentionally. The longest study on happiness ever conducted tracked people for over 80 years and concluded one thing above all others. The quality of your relationships determines the quality of your life. Not your income, not your status, not your achievements, your relationships. Successful people do not leave their relationships to chance. They call people just to check in. They remember important date. Habit 6. They invest in relationships intentionally. The longest study on happiness ever conducted tracked people for over 80 years and concluded one thing above all others. The quality of your relationships determines the quality of your life. Not your income, not your status, not your achievements. Your relationships. Successful people do not leave their relationships to chance. They call people just to check in. They remember important dates. They show up when it counts. They build trust slowly and protect it fiercely. Your network is not just who you know. It is who trusts you, believes in you, and wants to see you win. Invest in those people, consistently, without keeping score. Habit 7. They never stop when they feel like quitting. They pause. Instead, here is the final habit, and it is the one that ties everything together. Every single person who has ever built anything meaningful, a business, a body, a skill, a life, has reached a point where they wanted to walk away. Where it felt pointless. Where progress felt invisible and the effort felt too heavy. The difference is not that successful people do not feel that. They feel it deeply. The difference is what they do with it. Instead of quitting, they pause, they rest, they adjust, they talk to someone. They zoom out and remind themselves why they started. And then, when they are ready, and sometimes before they feel ready, they show up again. Persistence is not about gritting your teeth and forcing your way through pain. It is about developing a relationship with difficulty that does not include surrender. Every breakthrough in history came to someone who refused to make their temporary low point a permanent stopping point. So there you have it. 7 habits that separate successful people from everyone else. Protect your morning. Build systems, not just goals. Stay curious. Get comfortable being misunderstood. Pause before you react. Invest in your relationships. And when you feel like quitting, rest, but do not walk away. None of these habits require money. None of them require connections or a lucky break. Every single one of them is available to you, starting today. The question is never whether you are capable. The question is whether you are willing to be consistent. If this video helped you, even just a little, please subscribe. Because every week, I share ideas just like these to help you grow into the person you already know you can become. I will see you in the next video.